Hey, hey, hey. My words in Estonian language has been always, if I'm starting the podcast, I'm saying always, hey, hey, hey. So, my dear friends, around the world, I can say in LinkedIn, in YouTube, it's time. It's time that many people have asked that why I'm doing my podcast only in Estonian language. So, correction of this mistake. I'm turning, this is the first podcast in English. I'm turning in English, and this is episode one. And in Estonia, my show name is direct translation is Sales Minutes. So I decided that it's easy to go on the same track. So the podcast in English will be the same, Sales Minutes. So welcome to the episode one, and in this episode, I think we are covering the hottest topic in sales and marketing right now, and you can of course offer only one solution or one wording, and this is AI. And my dear guest today is she's AI queen of Estonia. Can you imagine? Sandra Reivik, hello.
Hello.
I'm
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, I'm really glad that you are here. And of course, opening topic AI. I think maybe it's the hardest topic and the topic what confuses really many people right now. Even if you are in marketing, if you are in sales, if you are in other, even logistics, everybody are talking about the mysterious AI, what solves all the problems. But in reality, we can ask from Sandra what we can solve, what we can't solve. What is the path of AI? At least how you understand and seeing this landscape. So, Sandra, first of all, I was like just quickly checking and thinking like, what are the topics what AI helps to solve on the sales side? And starting from lead generation, predictive lead scoring, chatbots and virtual assistants, intent analysis, then CRM automation, automated email outreaches, call transcript and analysis. From forecast side, accurate sales predictions. From personalization and engagement, dynamic pricing, AI driven recommendations, and so on and so on. And latest competition, real time competition tracking, simulations, like AI coaching. There are plenty of there are like so many things in the same time and so many products. Starting with that, what's your take? How you see the world today?
I think that's true. AI is here not to, pass as a trend. It's here to stay, and we need to adapt. And there is many changes in different sectors. And of course, I'm passionate about marketing and of course sales. They're really intertwined.
Tightly
Right.
together, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And when you mentioned all of those different aspects where we can explore the possibilities, we can have the professional level, but also on the personal level there's really a lot of ways how we can now try with generative AI to enhance whatever we're doing. It's all of the different processes within organizations, in the departments, and of course in marketing and sales. But I think we can go in further in depth throughout the questions, right?
Mhm.
But you mentioned me as the AI queen
Yes.
of Estonia. Actually, it was not the term that I, came up with myself and just like, whew, okay. But I definitely have now stepped more proudly into that role because I do create a lot of content in Estonian. Similarly as you, I have
Cool.
the podcast, right, where we discuss in different areas how we can practically apply AI and bringing that knowledge through webinars, through the podcast, through the membership platform that we have underneath the brand name AI Empowerment. But yeah, I'm really keen on, even myself, bringing people together who have that practical knowledge, who are trying out and then having that place where we can share. Because truly, what you mentioned as well, we have so many questions. So
Messy. It's messy.
it's a messy space. So how can we kind of have these step-by-step processes which are already proven by someone as working methods?
Yeah, I really love the word in software development. There is I'm a full stack developer. I really love that. I think in this world right now, everybody needs a combination of products what working together. Because right now, I can be honest, I'm testing. I'm the fan of LinkedIn and Sales Navigator and tools like that. I'm testing in the same time 5 SaaS solutions. How to automate, how to outreach, and every tool testing takes. First of all, you're looking videos, then you are reading, then you are testing, then you are implementing, and at the end of the day, you can put like 10 hours minimum into the one product just to understand what works, what not, what are the what are the functions what you can use, what is the automation capabilities. This is like so messy, and this is only one thing. This is only LinkedIn. You
Hmm.
have like hundreds of other solutions. So
Hmm.
in my opinion, what we need, because my sales minutes in Estonian language, they have been like practical way how
Hmm.
to solve, what to do, like not philosophically that hey, what is there, but
Hmm.
what we can do like tomorrow.
Hmm.
And in this case, and the further questions, I think let's try to be as practical as we can.
I
With
love that.
with the topic.
Yeah,
Super. Then
yeah,
we
I love
are
that
aligned.
approach.
Then we
Yes.
are aligned. So, but let's and for the listeners,
Hmm.
we are in really interesting time because the Chinese R1, is it R1? The new,
Yes, R1. Yes,
it just came out.
DeepSeek. Yeah.
The DeepSeek.
Hmm.
First of all, what's your take on that? Does it change the world?
I mean, of course, it changes the landscape of the big players in the game because, of course, DeepSeek came out. It's for free. It's the
It's
number
crazy.
one app currently on the App Store and for the Androids, right? And of course, we have to keep in mind the privacy and all of these
Mhm.
things, right? But on the other side, what OpenAI then did, the big name behind ChatGPT,
Yes.
they needed to release fast their features additional to operator because they have competition and such of a large competition that right now the DeepSeek has given to the
Mhm.
landscape. Of course, we as the users are winners from that. Of course, keeping in mind all the risks that need to be managed. But if you have observed the previous news, you see how other big players have released their functionalities, are trying to enhance all the different ways and capture
Mhm.
the customer's attention and be the best tool out there,
Yeah.
right? So with DeepSeek, of course, I myself haven't been playing around. I've been watching a lot of videos from different content creators who
Mhm.
have the access because in Estonia, with all of these different tools, we have that trouble not being able to access, for example, the operator, which is in the pro package from the
Yeah.
OpenAI, right? We are not accessing that right now. US has the access
Right.
with DeepSeek as well. You can register. Maybe you can get the access right now, but still, even the AI enthusiasts here, we have people who would not been able to access yet. So of course, it's good to try out, only put inside the things that you would put into public, like into
Mhm.
social
Yeah.
media. Never, because even in the privacy, terms, they have said clearly we can track,
Every,
use that data
everything.
in any way, and also track from which computer you have come, like all of the background information as well. So you have to be aware of these risks
Those
as well
risks.
as a user.
Yeah, but in the same time, with your United States, pretty much the risk is there because
Hmm.
what we are typing into the our universal second me, the questions are like scary questions because we are giving so much information out there,
Hmm.
like a leadership questions. You are describing in your on your command or your question like a heavy text of what situation your company are right now, what is your leadership question. So there is a huge information what we are providing, and
Mhm.
it's in the United States or in China. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because the information is there and
Mhm.
they can use this. I think
Yeah.
that's the one topic about privacy. But okay, starting from this, in your experience, how the AI has like transformed sales and marketing strategies.
From when I was thinking beforehand, of course, we kind of discussed these questions.
Mm,
I believe, of course, we are seeing more and more, everything becomes more data driven. And maybe before we were more intuitive how we approach the marketing or sales
stomach
side.
feeling.
Yes, exactly. Feeling from the gut. But now we're moving more and more to the data driven world where also all of the data points that we're collecting, we can enhance that, enrich that with the help of large language model,
Mhm.
right? So I believe there's a huge shift how we can work with the data that we're collecting, and that we can see already within these tools that all are. That's also another trend which we see is that these AI functionalities are coming up in all of the different tools that we're using. We can talk about the Microsoft, right? We can talk about Google, the Gemini workspace. We can talk about Notion. We can talk HubSpot. All of these big names are coming up with the AI functionality. So more and more, I see that shift of understanding how we can use that data and then really put into work. And we can talk about these overarching topics of trends and the personalization and all of these things, right? But that's where we're moving, really understanding how to take that data, how to enrich that with the large language model as a layer in between, and then making better decisions how to approach and target the customers that we're wanting to target.
In your experience, the sales guys, they are usually lazy guys. They want that, please just help me to do those that kind of stupid things that I need to repeat. Like it's some pattern I need to do. Please take those away. And I'm dealing with the people, I'm closing people, I'm in the front line of communication. If you're looking like comparison to marketing, does like marketing manager reallocates the money today already that, hey, this like proportion goes directly to AI. Whatever you need to do with that, with the data layer and so on, this is your amount of money. Do the best what you can. Or it's like still, it's like the old thinking of marketing. And the question is, hey Sandra, what you can automate, what you can offer, what you can enrich with the data. How you see that? How
I
you see
think I think when we, of course, there is many ways of, if we're looking the Estonian market or we see the global market, many of the companies are, of course, aggressively more putting into the research and
Mhm.
development from the AI side. But I truly believe the biggest gain is still gotten from going based on the real issues that you have,
Okay.
right? Mapping out the business process and then finding ways how the
How
AI comes into that.
Yeah, okay. And
Right.
and still on your perspective, the business is looking like ready tools, or they are asking that, okay, this is the business process, this is the flow. We need to automate, we need to enrich, we need to do something in the middle of the procedure. So we are developing like a custom solution to this, or just Sandra, please, can you find the right SaaS tool, but you integrate?
Mhm.
What's the
I think from my perspective, I believe it's easier to go for it with the SaaS tool that is already, taking
Sure.
that work layer, that flow, and then is developing a best solution that they
Sure.
can, right? So you don't have to customate your own
Mhm.
option, and it's of course usually a privilege of a bigger
Bigger
company,
companies.
that have that money. But of course, when we talk about that, the usual question is like, how do I find that tool?
Exactly,
What
exactly,
is the
because there
right
are hundred
tool?
of tools, right?
Exactly. But I believe, again, when we talk about, for example, HubSpot, right, which is being used a lot in sales, they again have AI functionalities. It's called Breeze,
Okay.
and they have developed all the different into the different layers. You can have a data enrichment, that's the Breeze intelligence side. You can have AI agents, which are coming in from that SDR side, right, where we do the pre work,
Mm-hmm.
warming up or
Mm-hmm.
understanding the client that is coming, for example, into a call and doing that background information. So you have already in these bigger tools these AI functionalities, and I would go from these bigger tools. And when choosing the tools from different categories, you can have categories of tools from, I don't know, text to speech. You can have image generation. All of
Mm-hmm.
these different categories have like top one or
Like a,
top three, tools out there. And choosing from these, I truly believe there is no, of course, in one category there can be like hundreds of different
absolutely,
tools,
absolutely.
but taking the ones which are top
And
one to three max.
there are new incomers all the time, like new incomers who are like launching the product being a little bit better than the last one because of
Mhm.
some new functionalities. So this is a crazy world because how you see it's a zero coding on your side. Like if you are looking the flow, you are putting the pieces together, the full stack.
Mhm.
The full stack must be zero coding, or still there are developers who must jump into the game and then put like APIs together.
No, I believe we're truly moving into more no code, zero
Zero code.
code side. And as salespeople needing to upskill
Mhm.
themselves, how to understand how to build a workflow up. But of course, then there comes that part where you have to be architecturally, or
Ex-
the understanding the
exactly.
architect behind that, and that cannot be taken away. This is still a responsibility of someone who understands and has the business knowledge, right? So yeah, my belief is that whenever we're talking about these different tools,
Mhm.
you still need to have critical mind activated. You have to have business knowledge how these things usually work, and then seeing what could be as a low hanging fruit could be experimented
Yep,
with you
yep,
know
yep, yep. So okay, clear picture. Thank you for this answer. I think the perspective is there, and I'm thinking pretty much the same way. At least how I see today, because of course my knowledge is not that kind of deep as you have, but still, I'm seeing the landscape exactly the same because I have implemented that kind of cool CRM like Pipedrive,
hmm
and usually the path is like Pipedrive, HubSpot, Salesforce. How
hmm
companies are growing. So I see already that in the Salesforce there are tools in place. The data enrichments, your assistant who helps you to write the emails
hmm
behalf of you. The stuff is already there, but it's not like that it's not the full stack, and you
hmm
have to understand what you are doing, because
hmm
otherwise, yeah, there is a button like please
hmm
use it, but use it like wisely.
hmm
So I think it's the paradigm is like moving to the new level, and all the sales guys and sales girls must adapt with it. I
hmm
think that's how you see
Yeah,
it.
I definitely, like, there is big mission behind AI empowerment. We understand that there is this adaptation needed. There are practical AI skills that need to be developed,
Mhm.
and of course, there is no way you can be competitive on the
Landscape.
landscape if
Mhm.
you don't really upskill yourself. And yeah, the more we share and understand the challenges, of course, what you're talking about, the full stack, right? There's so much scatterness, and
Yes,
then also the saturation. And,
yes, yes.
this is all of the challenges that we all are dealing with, right? And then how can we move as fast as possible with the work improvement methods into,
Exactly.
something that really brings value to us as the ones who are communicating with the customers, but also from the customer side. When we talk, you have had Sandra here who talked about chatbots and all of these
Ex-
things. It's not about of course, taking away some of the repetitive tasks for the person, but in the end we really want to serve the client better, right?
and the tone of voice, and the language patterns what we are using, and the learning data based on what the bot or your assistant, virtual assistant, gives the answers.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have this, or you need to write the documents and put those in just
Mm-hmm.
where the bot or assistant takes this information. Because if it will, as Sandra told, that if the bot or assistant goes and ask it from the global sources, then you never know what you will get from there, because
Mhm.
this is uncontrollable information there. You
Exactly. And they have the responsibility as
exactly
the business, right? And
exactly
you cannot take that risk. There's many cases which we have seen, where the customer has seen that, okay, I'm gonna get the new car, and this being just generated because these large language models are just gonna be generating an answer that is needed word
that's
by word,
yep
but
exactly.
then who takes the care of that real responsibility in this whole chain?
By the way, in the same time, Estonian language model is well trained. What's the situation?
So we actually have had in the podcast as well our Ott Welsberg, who's
Hmm.
managing the different AI initiatives here in Estonia, and of course the big problem is that these large language models are being trained on the internet and
Yeah,
the data from there, and we don't have the data. Um, and enough data in Estonian that we have exchanged and put into that training process. So of course there's a huge problem with that, and even they have as one of their initiatives to gather as much content and materials from the people of Estonia to then build this data
and to train
yes,
the model that
exactly.
would be. So
Yes.
today you are using Estonian model, or you are still would say that let's wait a little bit.
I mean, no, I am already using the doing the large or doing the tasks with the large language models. We can talk about like
Yeah.
ChatGPT, Claude
Yes.
AI,
Yes.
whatever we're
Mhm.
choosing from, right? Um, but I am doing them already in Estonian. Maybe 1.5 years ago, I would have said like, no, I'm nope, I'm
Let's
doing that.
don't touch that yet.
Yeah,
Mm.
but now I'm really saying that if you are needing to produce any marketing content, already the Estonian there, if you giving enough context, understanding the product that you're bringing to the market, what are the unique selling propositions, all of the key elements that give more richness to the text. It does a really good job already in Estonian, and as well you have custom GPTs that are being built, which is being used many of the Estonians
Mm.
here, which are you know doing and fixing the grammatic and all of that side, which is also important. And then you read the text and you really don't understand if it's AI generated
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah.
So we are definitely in these levels where you cannot really fully tell anymore, even the
What is
difference.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Practical side,
Hmm.
and we have practical listeners there. So, can you provide examples of AI tools that has significantly improved sales performance? Because one thing is that okay, take this like things away from my daily life and do them on the background. Second of all is like what is the performance? Let's first practical side. How
Hmm.
you improve sales performance? Maybe you have something on your mind, like some products, some features, some SaaS
Hmm.
solutions. On your experience, what has done that like
Hmm.
significantly?
Hmm. I usually, again, I will approach it from the most popular tool, which is ChatGPT,
Okay.
and the large language model side, because there is many of the business processes that we can enhance through the different interactions that we're having with the system, and it's most easiest access point for many, just to have. ChatGPT, and then trying to enhance. So, for example, if you're as a sales manager, you have a team of people mapping out the documentation to have the objections of our clients. What are usually the things that we're mentioning as our
Mm-hmm.
unique selling
Mm-hmm.
propositions, or giving background information about the customer persona. And oftentimes in, I don't know, even an example from the business media company here, Aripäev, they
Yes.
have 40 different brands, and they have never maybe mapped out the customer persona, this each brand's unique selling propositions, and doing that much faster at scale with the large language models. Of course, again, having the critical mind activated, the business understanding, but that has tremendously improved the way they interact with the customers because they have that background information, for example, done by the sales manager of a team.
So practical way. I'm the sales director of Estonian company, Latvian company, Lithuanian, Danish company. It doesn't matter. I will outreach to you. Hey, Sandra, please help. For the starting points, you are starting with the chat GPT, and the question is what you are asking.
Yes.
That's but you are starting still from mapping out, visualizing the sales procedure. Is it like a necessary thing to do before you can jump in and suggest something? Or I'm the sales director, I'm asking kindly, hey, help my team. And you are taking the tool, the most useful tool, ChatGPT, and we are starting to discuss about prompts or how to set up the right questions about ICP. Because to be honest, I have seen many managers and like on the sales side, on the director side, on the general director. If I'm bringing the topic, who's your ICP? Usually I'm seeing like the face. What? What is the exact question? What is the ICP, like ideal client profile? Everybody are our clients, and that's the first topic, to be honest.
Yeah, and I agree that there is many layers that we never have maybe thought of, and this is actually yeah, I agree that we do have to cover the basics, how to write good prompts, right, to give that knowledge forward, because it's also the teammates that you're communicating as a leader.
Of course.
They are going to be starting to bring the problems to you and the things that they are trying to do themselves, and that's again how the whole team is learning. But I believe again when we talk about generating really valuable outputs, because input equals output.
Exactly.
Whatever you put inside as context,
Garbage in, garbage out.
exactly. That concept needs to be understood, and then also how then you give that additional context. For example, if you need to generate an email sequence, and understanding what's your main goal in the end of that email sequence.
Warming up the lead.
If you are entering also your customer persona pain points, if you're bringing out these unique selling propositions, if you are giving this as a context, this email sequence that you can generate with AI will be much better. But again, this way of doing things, how can you then package that context beforehand and go into these procedures, then doing whatever different aspects that you can want to do, but then how to kind of formulate that first initial context. And that's where still understanding your processes and problems comes in hand.
So in my LinkedIn network, I'm absolutely sure there are at least 1,000 directors, sales managers, like directly in sales. So your suggestion will be that, hey, first of all, somebody like you, let's sit down from the director level. Let's map things out. Then let's clarify what is the best starting point, how to use OpenAI, ChatGPT, and then you are putting it into the practice. And let's say the sales director will be, or you will be the right hand of sales director, and sales director leads their own team.
Yes.
And shares the information and shares everything what is necessary to do to enrich the data, to use the best practice of how to use OpenAI. That's the
Yes,
way.
exactly. And I believe the understanding business processes in general in business is needed. And when we talk about automations, that's where
That's a cool
you
topic.
cannot you have to have kind of standard operating procedures in place to go into automating, of course, and being the leader, the one who's the champion within the organization, you have to find, it doesn't have to be necessarily the leader. Maybe you have someone within the team who's more eager to go into and is more tech savvy. Exactly. And you give the access to different options on the market, and then again, if the experiments have been done, the use cases have been mapped and then also experimented with, then you bring that knowledge to the team.
That's a good advice because in my path, on my path, I have done pipe drive projects last, let's say, 10 years, and at least last 5 years, all the CEOs who are jumping into this discussion, the first thing thing what they want to ask is, hey, Urmas, let's start to automate. And I'm always saying, hey, please step back. Because it's like cliche. Everybody wants, we need to automate. No, you need to first understand your procedure. And then you understand where are the bottlenecks,
Mhm.
what you want to automate, why you are automating. And then there is a final plan what to do. And then the team believes and understands it. Because problem like today, the problem is like, hey, take please this SaaS solution, put
Mhm.
your company card just as a payment method and start to use. But
Mhm.
it's like it's the end of the procedure, like
Mhm.
not the beginning. And
Yes.
I'm seeing that it's the major problem on the market, that
Mhm.
the people are starting from the really wrong like insight. The
Mhm.
insight must be that you are talking that then you have like capability to prove the performance like
Yes.
in the right way.
Yes, you have to
Correct.
understand the bigger picture of a change management, which is, in essence, we're working with people. There are mental barriers that they're having, and we have to address them before we can go into big transformation of having some elements of the business automated.
Thank you for that, and I think all our listeners they need to see that this perspective, because this is a helping point. Everybody, I think the most common topic on the sales is lead generation and qualification, because it seems so easy. Is it easy in reality?
Of course, it's becoming more and more easy because of these. Okay, of course, when we talk about 2024, we had the year of multimodal, models.
Yes.
And then we're now moving to 2025, which is the AI agents side, right? We are already seeing in January, Operator has been released, which is, the exact building your own agents for whatever is your problem that you want to be solved, right? Moving into that direction. But I lost the question that you
No,
asked.
but that's a good point. You
Yeah.
said 2024 like a multimodal, where we are coming. Let's say step back,
Hmm.
where we are coming from the last year. What was the topic of the last year?
It was the AI assistants, and
AI
there's
assisted.
and now there's AI agents, right? AI assistants. We have custom instructions that we ourselves are building, kind of explaining how the steps are needed to be done
Okay.
in order to get whatever is our problem at hand done. And then now we're moving into AI agents, which you only kind of give. This is the last, goal that we want to have attained, and then the agent itself will do the decisions, what
Right.
will be the best steps to do.
But the word agent is still on the, let's say today, on the OpenAI ChatGPT. It works there, or is it something else?
Now, even when I mentioned about the HubSpot, right? HubSpot has the Breeze kind of AI
Mhm.
functionalities hub, right? And they have AI agents that are helping the salespeople to do the pre-screening, gather. That's the data enrichment side,
Yes.
where you have, for example, companies within this industry, and you want to map out if these companies are providing these services,
Uh-huh.
and then you collect with the large language model layer that background information. And before you go, for example, into a call with the specific one of the
So,
client profiles that you mapped out, you also have the additional information, for example, what to emphasize. For example, you have done the project in the past,
yes.
right? And that's where the hyper personalization word comes in as well. Right now, we're doing this one on one kind of
Yes.
approach and
Yes.
understanding how to have that process done better. But of course, when we have also mapped out these companies, we have different data points, fields that are
Mhm.
similar, and
Mhm.
then we can target these people with a more personalized, offer,
Mhm.
and they feel touched just
Mhm.
because we have done that pre-process with an agent, which is now more and more accessible through these already the tools that we're using in the sales processes.
Maybe I'm asking like this. I'm Urmas. I'm the sales manager. I'm reaching out to the Thomas in Germany, in Berlin.
Yes.
So, do I understand right that the AI, what you said, AI agent,
Hmm.
does everything behalf of me. So what I want to get that, hey, Thomas from the corporation of X, Thomas works on this department. We have the perfect product match. So I'm asking from the agents, hey, please build the outreach model behalf of me. Is it that where we are going? Because I'm doing it manually right now.
Mhm.
I'm taking the LinkedIn Navigator. I'm taking the list. I'm mapping out those contacts. I'm setting those to some SaaS platform.
Mhm.
They are, is it my, let's say my templates, or they are doing the templates like using the AI.
Mhm.
So then the automation takes place. And then if some warm lead answers, then I will take over this conversation. How in your eyes, how it will look like in year 2025? What's
So,
changes?
so I think that manual process that you have been doing, there will be much more of these functionalities where some of the elements of that manual work will be done for you and
Okay.
even better. But again, this is now your job to kind of give that frame. What are we really targeting, right?
Okay.
That's the business knowledge that you're bringing in, and you cannot just think that the model knows itself.
Self.
You have to still put the frame into place. But yes, many of the elements from that SDR side are gonna be, gonna be changed,
All
right?
right.
So, and I truly believe the faster you start to kind of understand that there is this shift happening, you
Yes.
will start to notice these different functionalities, whatever tool we're talking about, and there you start to, of course, if you notice, you maybe want to play around, because usually the salespeople or marketing people are curious.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so
But I would be honest, my frustration right now is that, I'm taking one tool, then my one tool, let's say, collects thousands my ICPs all around the world. Then I was asking from ChatGPT, hey, there is a sheet, there is a Excel table. Can you please update this Excel table, and can you please provide the email addresses? Everything is available, like official information on the web pages. And ChatGPT was working and working and working, and they said, hey, I went crazy. I can't help you because I can't fill the table of 1,000 contacts. It's just today. Please give me 10, I will reply you. Give me 10, I will reply you. But at the end of the day, I'm frustrated today because I have like 10 pieces of SaaS solutions. I don't want to use those SaaS solutions. I don't want to pay for each solution $39 or euros. And I don't want to build this track by myself. I want to, as you talked, that I want that kind of assistant. I will describe what is the mission, and the assistant will put this together. Can I hope that kind of assistance in this year, or it takes more time?
I believe already within this year we can see that, because with these, for example, OpenAI operator, the big shift is that it can interact with the through the APIs with these different websites where the scraping is happening. Before that, if you would just go into usual ChatGPT, but into the chat asking, for example, giving an Excel with 100 names, it cannot do, because it needs to do that additional, going to the website, doing the scraping. But now the agents, and that's in the model, that training aspect of things have changed how they interact with the information, right? And that's where the beauty comes in, that these tasks can be tackled better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the background, yeah.
Exactly,
I
the
would like,
interaction.
I would just,
But of course, and there's another layer where, of course, now the different websites are having in their background, in the code, not allowing
to
the
jump into the
scrape and do.
automation.
Of
Okay.
course,
Yeah.
that.
But because I was using Apify. Apify is a marketplace of different scrapers. Like there are like hundreds of different scrapers. And of course, but at the end of the day, I'm paying monthly subscription. I need to build up the scraper to myself. I need to know I need to know the shit, because otherwise it doesn't work like this. And the average sales guy or sales girl on the market, they don't just have the time to learn and look the videos and In this case, I think we are in the breaking point today in all the sales organizations that everybody needs this help. Everybody, all the members of the team needs, but nobody has the time and knowledge. You
Mhm.
go everything through, you test it out, you pay the subscriptions and
Mhm.
put the stack together.
Mhm.
So in this case, I really hope this progress of AI, is it R1 or is it like OpenAI? It
Mhm.
doesn't matter. But let's hope that it will be solution
Mhm.
tomorrow. But at least today, company owners must talk with you and
Mhm.
ask the help how to provide this solution.
Yeah, and it's not only me as well.
Of
I
course,
believe
in this case.
the enthusiasts and consultants and educators that are coming on the market. I believe I'm really, of course, there's competition in some sense, but I do believe that there is much more work than there is us. That and the
Absolutely,
things that we need to
absolutely.
do. So from my side, yes, maybe one shift a leader can have is to understand that we need to take additional time. You cannot exactly think that the your salesperson will take additional time if they're not being
Hmm.
communicated that this is the track vision that we're having.
Yep.
We want to adapt, and then craving that or taking that time from the working hours to actually dive deeper and
Right.
understand that I guess it's coming from the leader, right?
Yes.
To have that space and understanding that we're moving into that direction, and every additional hour that we have actually put into understanding the landscape will give the value to us
Yep.
in
Yep.
the long run,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Better
Yep. Yep.
afterwards,
Of
and we
course, because
understand.
if I was growing up, then there was a Ericsson rule. 10,000 hours of you are putting deeply in, then you are expert. And open AI expertise is something that it's growing daily. And
Hmm.
and if I knew how to do something yesterday, then tomorrow it changes, and then you need to adapt with those changes. And I think that that kind of question is on your table: how to help the leaders to adapt
Hmm.
daily.
Hmm.
So we talked about privacy and the information what goes in and the information what is available on the market. I'm coming from the software development, and the change was that whose code it is, like whose code you are using right now, who's the author, who is the owner of the like the product what you are building. On the sales and marketing side, what kind of problems what we are facing today about this privacy, information, and so on?
Of course, there. I think the GDPR, the rules which have been in place for many, many years
Hmm.
already, they apply, and of course, you have to apply to these rules that are being set. But now, additionally, when you're developing an AI product, you have to be also aware of the AI Act. So there are additional rules that you have to keep in mind.
Can you
What?
please maybe
Yeah.
describe a little bit what it means AI Act?
Yes, so it came out in 2024, 1st of August. And when we are talking about the national level here in Estonia, it's not coming in full force yet, right? They are doing many steps as a country to bring more additional help to
Hmm.
understand
Hmm.
which kind of documentation needs to be in place for the organizations and all of these things. But of course, again, if you're moving into that direction where you're doing your own customized
Hmm. The flows.
solution
Hmm.
and things like that, you have to understand what might be the layers from this AI Act that might apply to you. And again, this is another many people don't know. We
Absolutely.
really
Absolutely.
yeah
Absolutely.
yes.
Is it EU regulation rules, or is it where it comes from?
Yeah, EU,
EU.
and of course all of the different nations have are working on
Yep.
bringing as much help as possible to
Hmm.
each of the member countries. And again, there is in our Estonian podcast as well. I can maybe share in the
Yeah.
show notes, right,
Sure.
where we have had people who are precisely communicating how that AI Act how do we need to do the risk management and all of these different
So
steps.
that the practical advice.
Yes.
I'm the CEO. I'm the director of sales in some company. I start to build the flow with the AI help,
Hmm.
all the steps what I need. So I need to be aware. Is there any deadline I need to be aware of? I need to implement those? Like this is like ISO documentation that you have to have in your company. Is it correct?
Mm,
The
yeah.
procedures in place.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, but yeah, exactly. But it's not, if you're, of course, the AI Act, it doesn't apply to low risk that you have to have the right away the documentation. If
Okay.
you're in the high risk category, that's where a lot of these law enforcements come into play in the upcoming year.
In 2025, I already need to be aware that
Aware,
all right.
awareness.
Okay. But I think if somebody starts to build the flow with everything what is there, then you in the same time you start to build the documentation on the background, because otherwise you are not legit
Mhm,
in the future. Of
mhm,
course, if you are talking about the data and data storage, and you have the CRM and you have everything, even the personal codes and stuff, if you are talking with the private clients, then that's the totally different story and the topic about the
mhm,
GDPR and everything, what is there already.
mhm,
But the AI Act comes on top of it.
mhm,
Correct.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, our dear listeners, I think it's necessary that please be aware that that's the topic, not only the cool thing how to build the amazing flows, but
Mhm,
the legal side comes
mhm.
on top. So,
Yes. Maybe
yes,
additionally, just to quickly, because we're already using within the tools some of the AI's functionalities, you just have to be aware what also the tool is doing with that.
on the privacy side, what
Exactly.
you are
And
putting
you as a company owner communicating that also outside what is being used and done, and
exactly.
third parties that are being involved.
I think that's a really good point, because if you are on the background using like 5 different tools, every tools has their own, privacy terms and conditions. You have to be aware what is there, what you are using, and so it's a pretty good mix of legal and that kind of privacy understanding.
And what I also mentioned before, choosing the top ones from the categories is the way to go, because they are usually more established and have their paperwork
All
most
right,
probably
yeah.
hopefully done.
That's a good suggestion. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
So let's wrap it up. I have practical guys and girls inside of our listeners. So if you are on the starting point, you understand that you need to do something today. So the first step, what you do?
Maybe understanding the prompt engineering or how to
Yep.
ask these questions. And that starts from you being curious, maybe knowing the basics, for example, adding the role, adding context, setting the tone, some of the
Yes.
key elements of prompt engineering, so
Yeah.
to say. That's one thing.
So
That's
the
the
prompt
basics.
engineering is the first keyword what
Yes,
you need to be
yes,
aware.
because
Okay.
you're going to be starting to interact and
Yeah.
set up even the workflows. You need to understand how to kind of guide the machine, so to say, to do the certain steps needed, right? So that's maybe the key, like first step.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second step would be looking into the tools that you currently are using already. For example, is it going to be PyDrive or HubSpot or whatever you have already chosen? And seeing the AI functionalities within these platforms.
Okay.
So usually, the the website has an overview of
It
these.
comes with the package, then you have to be
Exactly,
aware what is there.
exactly, and that's also one of the ways of course, going already on the tools levels, playing out
Yeah.
what is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course, when you do the prompt engineering side, you can also go directly into a large language model. Is it going to be ChatGPT, Claude, Google Gemini? It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And doing the first initial ideas that come to your mind as problems from your business, giving as much context as needed, but also managing the risk, and then doing the first layouts and
Okay.
seeing what are the results, because you cannot get any better. There is the learning curve.
Yeah.
And you have to try that out, but approaching that from a place of excitement and curiosity, and then moving along with the flow. And then maybe thirdly, when we talked about the prompt engineering, the basics, the tools, then also kind of bringing others as you as a leader.
Mm-hmm.
in also external consultants. I do
Mhm.
believe there's oftentimes there's so much confusion still, and if you don't want to deal with knowing what are the best options out there.
Because you don't have time to
No.
deep dive because you are like busy, busy, busy all the time, and you
Yes,
need to. Yeah, okay, that's why.
exactly. And then the third step is even bringing the external consultant, and with that also bringing the team on board. Meaning having that open discussion, what is being used already, for what is being used, and what is our stand as a company towards that, and what is being encouraged and maybe
All right,
disencouraged, right?
all right.
So having that open discussion, that's where also the ideas of what is possible.
Possible to do.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because one mind is one mind, right? But when we bring all the different minds, then that's where the
And
collective mind comes into play.
experiences too, that what you have done with your team in the past.
Yes.
Good. May I, Sandra, ask first of all? I'm really thankful that you are sharing this knowledge and information and the steps, even if they are baby steps. Can we maybe promise to our audience that in the future, sometime, we can practically take one of my clients, your clients, and we can play the basics through. Let's say if the client is agreed that okay, let's bring it on. Like
Hmm.
step one, step two, with the prompts, with the actual practical way how to build the
Hmm.
AI knowledge inside of the information.
Hmm.
Is it something that you can promise that if the time is right, we can do like
Of course, I can promise when the time is right. We can
cool.
do that when the time is right. But no, again, what I mentioned in the beginning, it is a matter of us coming together, learning from each other, and the more, even with, I don't know, using Microsoft Copilot, and we in Estonia have most of the organizations are using Microsoft Copilot. We have to have the use cases what are already being done in the organizations and not being kept only to ourselves, but to be shared, right? But of course, taking a sales department and seeing the touch points there, of course, could be done step by step.
So, dear listeners, it was Sales Minutes #1, the first episodes of Sales Minutes in English. I'm really thankful to Sandra that she was here
Mhm.
providing the information what is necessary, what is like really needed. So we will see you on the episode 2 and let's see what is the topic and who is our dear guest. Thank you for listening and watching.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.